Oh, my friends, I got a great night's sleep last night, and I'm in a extremely blissful mood. And this is the stuff I like more than anything in the whole world. Is trying to understand what you see. Now, this is the beauty of thin film oil, and this guy is absolutely amazing. Fabian Ofer. Why is these circles here? Why are these like fountains looking things? He's taken pictures of oil and water and what it does and how it separates, and I think I pretty much understand what's going on here because of electron flood theory. There's no explanations for these occurrences other than, I think, what I am going to offer. Now, if you have other ones, I want to hear them. But he goes through this, and it's absolutely fabulous, the pictures he's taking. And he explains what he's doing, and these are literally electron transfers. We're going to talk about this in great detail. And where was the one that I wanted to show you? Boy, it's just fabulous. Look at this stuff. Oh. And this is where he did it a different way, coming down, where all the energy starts in the center. The other one is exactly the opposite. Anyway, we'll get into that deeper. This is the one. This literally, I believe, is going to turn into dark matter in the center. And I will explain why I say these things. And what is energy? Energy is color. It's this intensity of color. And darkness is the lack of energy, which is, in my world, the second pole of an electron. An electron doesn't just have a minus, just a little chunk of minus. Absolutely not. It has a minus and it has a positive. That is the positive portion. The negatives are being pushed away. The positives don't mind being against each other. Not the energetic ones. They want to get the hell out of town. They do not want to be next to each other. They own regions that are literally enormous. If you look up the 21 centimeter line, 21 centimeter line for hydrogen, the damn thing's 8 inches. A hydrogen atom, one hydrogen, which is the tiniest molecule there is. I mean, atom there is. It has an 8-inch influence. And we crushed him through a venturi and made him literally explode. I could show all that stuff too, but I'd love to talk with this guy. Whew, man, I'm telling you, I got a lot of looking to do. And he's in New York. So, we're going to be looking at this, and I'm going to try to explain what you're seeing here. Because energy is color. Color is frequency. Frequency is a particle spinning. Frequency is this. How many times it spins in a certain distance, or time, literally it's per second. And if it's this one, it's what I call a cheap one. It's a red. If it's down in here, your blue smashers. You got all kind of different colors coming out of there. And it's because of the films that are created because of the oil layering of the densities and almost like separating out the layers of electrons so they can kick them out in all different. Well, you see what you see. Now, I don't think he filled in any colors or enhanced anything different than what was natural. I'm not sure. I just don't know. I got to do more digging, but I'm going to tell you something. I got the shovel out. I'm digging because this kind of stuff turns me on. You see, well, anyway, we'll keep going. Okay, my friends, Roger once again. This is the funnest thing I have done in an extremely long time. We're going to be really digging deep into electron transitions between layers of soap and oil and all of that stuff. Now, this guy here is fabulous. Ofner sees the final photograph as an output of, or byproduct of exploration and process rather than the impetus for the work itself. He just wants to see what it does, and then he goes from there, which is, that's what I do. I do by observation. And I look at that. I think I understand what's going on there. He says, as an artist, he says he profits from the action of doing and gaining new insights into how things work. Exactly what I do. It's almost like an attitude towards life. Exactly how you look at your environment, how you perceive things, and how you communicate with others. I love this guy. Anyway, I sent him a message saying I'm going to be using a bunch of your pictures. I hope that's okay, and I hope he'll contact me back, because I honestly believe I can see what he's doing. I would love to interact, and like I did with Rodney. And well, let me just quickly show you some of the work we did with Rodney, and then I'm going to go. I did with Rodney Warren. He's just fabulous light photography through a venturi just by accident, and that's the kind of stuff that happens. This is not spectacularly complicated. He's using oil, and he's using water, and then he's taking a picture at the exact time of the interface of the transitions. But it's not like you have to go to NASA or something for this. So anyway, but I see every single characteristic. You see how the little dark spots, they're always surrounded by white. I think I'm now pretty much understanding most of what's happening at the atomic level. So, just like he said, this is a learning experience. You do it, you look, you think, you do it, you look, you think, you do it, you look, you think. Say that about a bazillion times, and actually do it and think a bazillion times, and by the time you're done, sometimes you come to the answer. And I've been doing this for many years, and I think I finally realize what the components are that are inside of molecules, that are inside of neutrons, neutrons, protons. Everything is made out of electrons. It's electron flood theory, and here it is right here. An electron is nothing more than a dark particle and an explosive particle, just like you see here. A dark particle there surrounded by the white explosive particles, and it goes all the way down to the lowest depth of particles, to where photons are two of these back to back, one up and one down. I show you these, absolutely no question whatsoever. You're going to have to stick with me. I'm not going to do this by myself anymore, because I got to do it, and then I got to go back. I do it over and over. Stick with me. I'll make mistakes. I'll be stupid. But I'll record how stupid I am, and then we'll try to get unstupid together. That's all. But these particles will fall apart. Well, they explode apart. And I show all of that stuff. And oh man, I'm telling you, I'm kind of excited right now. Because this is the kind of stuff that just literally turns me on. I'm sorry, that's just my way of doing things. And I don't even know how I fell onto this. I think somebody must have sent me this, because I get all my ideas now from people seeing things I do, and I say, oh, where do you see this? And, that's really pretty much what it happens. I'm not going out searching for much of this stuff. But, people are interested in my take on things at this point, because they're seeing I've done a lot of this stuff. And what I've shown makes sense. I haven't had anybody be able to counteract the things I said. All they can do is say, well, you got to read this guy. Oh, that's not, you got to be peer reviewed. No. Absolutely not. I will peer review them. You see what I have? They can't say anything against it. All they can say is, oh, no, that's just not right. There's no particles. You can't accelerate light. You can't do any of that stuff. Well, yes, I can, and there are. And everything's not correct up till now. There's dark matter. They've been looking for it. It's right there. It's stuck to the light matter. All right, I can't help myself. I won't gloat. That's red laser light. That's all it is. It's red laser light. Light is light. Well, what is that? Instead of just this, it's accelerating. And if you can't see it accelerating, I cannot help you. And if you can't see that is creating a stream of extremely active, accelerated energetic particles as it crashes into a venturi, which is two round cylinders going through. It has to force all of that magnetic region, which is enormous, and then they just explode. You cannot push these things together. You end up with energetic destruction, literally. And this coming out of here is these electron showers. Look them up. Look up muons and electron showers. You'll see it. And these are the particles right here. They're back-to-back electrons, just like I showed you. That's the electron right there. And that's the dark matter. It's stuck to the explosive particle. I'm not kidding you. Watch this. All right, here's what's going on. The light is coming this way. You see over here? It's not really too defined in any specific way. And then you see here, really getting defined. Then it's getting brighter and getting more defined, actually sending a spike up and down. And then it's hit like this here. When it hits the venturi, boom, everything explodes and falls apart. So that particle and that particle are 100% separate. They can be detached from each other. I can see it, I can prove it, and I will right now. So don't forget, they start to show here because they're being compressed. They're showing their box form, and then they just fall apart, and here's what they fall apart into. All right, now, I believe this proves my electron flood theory. And it also proves that they're dipoles. They have a positive, well, you can see it. There's the dark, and here's the white. Not a single darkness is in here. Absolutely none. But here, they will congregate against each other. They don't mind that. But they want to come back in down here. They want to be attached to the black particles. That's their nature. On concussion, or in certain configurations, like in these oil formations. We're going to go to big board in a minute, because you got a layer of polar particles. Water is polar. H2O has an extremely positive, extremely negative side. It's a dipole, and that's what gives you the surface tension, the film. You can put a paper clip or a pin right on the paper, on the surface of water. It'll float because it has attractive properties that hold itself together, the H2s and the O's. Now, you put oil on that, which is hydrophobic, and it'll try to get away from that water. When it does, it'll push away, and it'll form these layers that'll like give you almost, well, literally exactly like a a crystal. How you spectrum, it give you that spectrum form, because it's the thickness of the matter that it's going through, and it's the type of matter. There's a lot to it. I don't want to get too deep because it gets really complicated and involved, but basically you can see what's going on here. We have just exactly the opposite of what he's doing. He's working without any energy to speak of. He's putting two oppositional forces against each other, the water and the oil, and they create the black center. Is literally where the negatives will push to the center and push all of the explosive particles away, and that's where you see all the energy forming. Right? We're just the opposite. I'm doing exactly the opposite. Rod shot this light in here, creates enormous energy, pushes all the black stuff away. Right? The other one, he put the stuff down, and because of its electronic properties, it pushed itself in. All the other, anytime you have, well, anything there is, on the surface of this thing, 100% of the surface of this is coated with electrons. Right? The negative portion of the electron, the explosive portion. Because when you push against it, you're hitting an electron. The white part is always going to be around the black part. Always. 100% always. Until you do something like this. We exactly changed it. But now it comes back to what its nature is. Where the black is always surrounded by the white. This time is exactly the opposite of the nature of light. the white is surrounded by the black. I'm telling you, Rodney just absolutely freaking blew my mind. When I saw this, and this is years ago now, I don't think I slept for a month. and I'm still, I'm in awe every time I look at the stuff he sends me. And he's an experimenter guy. He's not into an electronic atomic theory guy. You know, I don't think so. He's never mentioned. He's very, very quiet guy. He just sends me pictures. And I have to figure out what's going on. I ask him questions, and he either just basically says yes or no. He says he's a quiet guy, but man, I'm telling you, the stuff that he sends me just, and you know, he'll go down in history for this. Nobody ever did this before. I couldn't prove my theory without this stuff. You know, I still didn't have a hard time proving my theory, but when you see what he shows you, if you could just walk away from this and turn your way, which the physicists are doing, I see that as a real issue. And that's happened right across the board with the research from Mudfossil University, because it originally started out of findings on the Earth of things that couldn't be explained. When we went to the experts with the backup DNA and CAT scans and anatomists and all the things that prove what we were saying, they turned us away. That opened the door for every single other explanation they had for everything, and I found not a single explanation worked. Zero. Not a single theoretical explanation for anything holds water. No, none, zero. The universe is filled with biology. 100% filled with biology. You laugh at that? Well, stick around. Okay, my wonderful friends, this is Roger once again, and I can tell you right now, there is more than one new theory on dark matter. Now, they're talking about the origin of dark matter. Where'd it come from? Well, they can't tell you that any more than they can tell you where other matter came from. This is October 19th. Now, I am going to show you, literally show you, what I believe is dark matter. I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to bring it back to how we got to the dark matter. Okay, get ready, because what you're going to see is supposedly not supposed to happen. This is light being accelerated. This is light being crushed. The crushing causes the explosive particles, which are the electron showers, to create this white mess. And then the little black balls are the dark matter, what they would call muons. They originally were attached together, and they came into this concussive area as attached particles. This is what I say is an electron. It has a powerful part and a dead end. The dead end is the black part. And back to back, two of them make a photon, which it will bounce off of you and make light. Now, this is the electron. It hurts you, it invades you, it destroys tissue. This bounces off you, creates light and heat. Now, I know I've shown this a million times, and it's been not being watched. So if you're upset, if you've been seeing it over and over, I suggest you go somewhere else, because you're probably going to see it a lot more times, because it's being avoided, because it kind of changes everything, and it does it elegantly, and nobody can fight against it. So until they engage and say, no, this isn't right, and show me why it isn't right, I am going to continue to show. And I say this is the black dark matter, and it will not stay with the white, and it was attached uno momento ago, and as the red laser accelerated, it separated. Don't forget, there's the black, there's the white. Let's see how this all happened. Now, I know, again, I've shown it a bazillion times. The red laser fires the pulses, bip, 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 as they approach the venturi, which literally creates two airplane wings, because everything has to come together and crush through this orifice. As it does, it has to accelerate, just like the hose, a nozzle on a hose. It comes out the other side all in disarray with the black balls surrounding it. It comes back in at the very end when the white particles begin to lose their extreme energy. There was an enormous increase in energy between here and here, and I will show you that right now. All right, remember I told you these were the particles just as they were crashing into the venturi, and then the black balls separated from the white ones. I say that's an electron and that's an electron. That's the explosive part. We always thought was the only thing there was in an electron. No, it had a deadhead. And the deadhead is your dark matter. And that deadhead just walks away. As we saw, it just rolls away. Because I don't want to know anything about this concussive stuff. And it comes back. So, again, 1,000 times said it. It leaves the white particle. It completely walks away from these white particles, as you see up above. We saw it completely get away and then come back down here. And not a single one was in here, 0. So it accelerated. Well, first, here it is. Coming out of the laser. Bip, 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 bip. That's really a huge ball with a particle in the center. And that particle is a magnetic particle that owns a region absolutely enormous. And as it comes through the air, everybody's got to get out of the way so they concuss and glow. Now, as it approaches a venturi, whole different situation. It has to accelerate. As it does, it begins to grow in concussive energy. Anytime you concuss, just like anything. I mean, you could hit a car 2 miles an hour, it's not too bad. You hit it at 100 miles an hour, it's just no mess. Exactly the same. I mean, it's just obvious. It's accelerating, it's gaining in energy. Gaining in energy means glowing. That's the world that is subatomic. When subatomic particles, when they bang into each other, their regions, hold on one second. All right, you saw the red electrons. They're the same as the photons. They're the same as the green photons, identical. Only these are spinning much faster. And that's what they do, is spin. Now, what happens is they own big regions around themselves. When they hit other things, you see how floppy that is? There's not a whole lot. You know, they're just sort of controlling around a region, just taking it easy. But when they hit something, they start to really concuss, and they get hard, and they glow. In this world, when they hit something, they glow. All right, this is about the best I can do to show what light does and how it transitions as it speeds up. This is light over here, which would represent approximately what this light is over here. As it approaches, it starts to change a little bit, and then it just goes into craziness. All right, here's what happens. You could still see they're dark and white particles, but they really don't, they don't have a whole lot of form and figure. However, as they approach, they start to organize in this concussive array, and they actually make spikes, and you can see the spikes here. Now, you see it's growing in glowingness, and now it's getting glowier, and then all of a sudden you see it just gets into craziness. That is here. Then it comes out the other side. The black ones now will start to go right around, out the other outside. Rod Warren is doing the experiments on this. Absolutely phenomenal. He's just absolutely. I have the same stuff he has. And you could do this at home if you want to try to do this. All he's using is a very, very simple pulsed red laser, and this particular phone, the Samsung Galaxy 3. And he seems to think it has something to do with the phone. I researched this phone about thin film. I forget what it is even now. It's got something to do with the way the thickness in the film and the way it hits, and how it can see these tiny particles. I mean, I don't know what to say. He's the master. Wait, let me show you something that he just sent me. Absolutely floored me. But it will show all of the things that I just talked about. The acceleration. Well, let's look at it. All right, this would put me in a room for about 3 hours. After seeing this, man, I said, whoa, Rodney, you dog, you, man. How did you do this? This guy is like Rembrandt. Now, like I said, I have all the same stuff he has, but it's like handing a guy a bucket of paint and a paintbrush and saying, draw me something like Michelangelo. I can't do that. Nobody can do this. I don't know how he does it. And he does this, boy, I mean, the things that he sends me, it's like Christmas. Anyway, I'm looking at this now. I understand light spins because of some other ones he sent me that absolutely, well, let's look at those first, and then we'll look at this, because this, I believe, is where his venturi is right here. Now, he's a man of very few words. So I really have to kind of try to figure out what he did. And it's kind of fun, to be perfectly honest with you. But I believe this is one of those pulses, just came through the venturi, is now flaring, and that is the leaving back end of the pulse. And we're seeing the back of these particles. And remember this now. Start to think on your own. Use your own mind. I'm telling you, this is spinning. Now, is it spinning this way? Or is it spinning that way? It's going to spin one way or the other. And I can tell you it's spinning because I can see these crossing paths here. And I have other shots that show it in extreme detail, crossing paths. So we know it's spinning. We know we have this top is different from the bottom. Why is that? How did that happen? Then we see wherever you see glow. Don't forget, I told you this just a minute ago. Anytime you see glow, the glowier the glow, the more of an energetic action. That's not a cursor or a mouse or anything. That is more energy right at that one specific spot. And that is more energy. There's more energy here, more energy here. There's a lot more interaction here than there is in other areas primarily. Why? What is going on here? Just think in your own mind. I'm pretty sure not, but like I said, I was a little while thinking about it, I can tell you that. And I also have shots showing this. Each one of these, I believe, and I'm not kidding you, I believe each one of those is literally an electron. It's literally an electron. These are the showers that we saw. These were the showers we saw here coming at us. We're going to go look at them. Now, not only do we get them on here, but he's also got a gigantic flare. Now, I don't know whether this is the flare of the flare or this is another flare. Does he have layers of flares? I don't know. This is so deep, it's very, very hard to be sure of what I'm saying. But this is why, I mean, he's in Australia, and they're doing his work in Australia. They should take care of him, fund him, bring him over to the university, whatever they have to do. He's doing work that they should be bowing down to him for this kind of work. This is fabulous. Fabulous. And you know, I don't know whether I got into it or not about Rodney and I, how we worked. You know, I do the atomic theory. He's totally out of that, and I'm totally out of doing the experiments. I bought all the same stuff he had. I was going to do it, and I said, this is insane. Look, why would I do this? Plus, why should I jump on his stuff? I want to see Rodney get his due for doing what he did. I could never prove my electron flood theory without this, and now I think I absolutely proved it. All right, I'm sure you can see these. They're spinning, and if you look at them, you can see them spin. And don't forget, the more energy, the glowier, and they're trailing off here. Red really slows down quick. All right, you know how I told you the green is way more energetic than the red? Well, there's the green coming at us, the showers. Now, it's not hard to see that this is not nearly as energetic as the green. Now, what we are seeing here is the red electron showers. And the black balls that I showed you before will be surrounding this shower of the particles. Now, that one is spinning backwards, I believe. It's a particle that is not like the rest of the particles. And then it made a concussion with one of these particles and created something strange. Hold on. And that is that particle, I believe. Now again, Rod did this work, and he's the one that should be explaining all this stuff, but I'm using it to present my electron flood theory, and he should be somehow working inside of the university system or something, because I'm telling you, he's way ahead of a lot of this stuff. Very, very good at what he does. And that's the particle. And then, what is that? That's smaller than light. And that's smaller than half of light, because this is only the electron part. The other part is the muon part. All right? And that is no clue. Now, don't forget, this is exactly what CERN is looking for, is muons and electron showers. Exactly what I showed you, the black ball and the showers, electron showers. That's what CERN is looking for. And to them, they're trying to find this from smashing protons together, which are huge. To me, they're 1,837 times bigger than the particles I'm working with. So, for them, they're digging through all kind of debris trying to find these, and they're finding all kinds of crazy stuff, and they're digging for years. I started with light. I started with this, and then split it. So, I think that's probably a better way to go. Now, this is why I say light spins, and that's what it is. It's a particle. It spins, and it spins to the right. You can see this is a drill head, just exactly like a drill bit would be. Right? And it's coming over the top here, and it's going under. Same thing here. So it's drilling through there. Most will accumulate in the center, obviously, because some will be over here, some are going to be over here, some are going to be over, but most will be hitting here. Some will go under and out this way, some will go over and out that way. And that's why you see this circular pattern. Now, why do you see the interference? Because this isn't a double slit, this is a single slit. Now, why do you see the interference? The interference is because none of these guys want to be next to each other. Rodney's got them coming through here, accelerated, and pushing each other out of the way. They don't want to touch each other. So they end up making these, what they call interference patterns, which are nothing more than repulsion patterns. And they will create a line. You stay away, you stay away, you stay away, you stay away. And it zip, it creates a line right down the middle. You can't show it any better than this. That's the wave, that's the acceleration, that's the particle, that's the concussion, that's the separation, that is the electron neutrino showers. The black balls are the dark matter, and the muons, they come back over here, reattach, and everybody goes on their way and goes back to being the particles that they first were, light, until they hit something and they get absorbed or whatever they do. Now, in the meantime, this is extreme amounts of energy, extreme amounts of energy from what it was over here. It's like it's very hard to dismiss that. Now, this is a passive device. It just sits there. There's two round circles here, which are drums of steel, and this has to force these particles into there. They own, remember now, whoops, there's my high-tech representations of the particles. As they come, they're coming like this, and there's a whole batch of them coming at the same time, and they're just flying all over the place, and they hit there and they say, whoa, 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 get out of my way. No, you get out of my way. No, you get out of my way. And then before they get out, bah, boom, it's just an explosion. Now, the little black balls say, whoa, I'm out of here, man, these guys are out of control, and they just go around here and they come back in later. So we know absolutely, without any question whatsoever, the black part, which is, I'm calling dark matter at this point. It doesn't reflect, it doesn't absorb, it doesn't emit, it doesn't interact, it doesn't just want to be involved in anything concussive. It doesn't want to be there. This is not part of its job in life. Its job in life is attraction. Come to me. Come here, baby. You come to me. I'll come to you. I want to be with you. I want to touch you. But don't you slap me around, because if you do, I'm leaving. And that's what happened. I'll come back, I'll come back. Well, trust me, if you slap them around, they ain't coming back. But this one here, these here is a different story. I couldn't help myself.